Have you ever felt like you're carrying something powerful inside you, but you've been too afraid to release it in front of others? If that hit you, then this message is for you. Welcome to the chosen path, where the bold rise, the silent awaken, and the ones who were called finally step forward. In this video, you're about to unlock truths that most people will never dare to speak aloud. Truths that could change the way you see your purpose, your voice, and your destiny. Stay until the end, because by the time we're done, you won't just believe you're chosen. You'll be ready to prove it, in public, without fear, without shame. Let's begin. You've been hiding your light behind excuses that sound noble but are really rooted in fear. You call it waiting on God, but it's just hesitation in disguise. There's a voice inside you that's been whispering for too long. Now it's starting to scream. You weren't made to blend in. You were chosen to disrupt, to stand out, to shake the ground when you walk. If you keep playing small, you'll never see the giant victories that were meant to be public. Every chosen one has a moment when their silence becomes disobedience. You can't stay safe forever. Comfort is a cage, and you've been decorating it like a palace. But deep down, you know the truth. You were made to roar, not whisper. You were made to rise, not retreat. You've outgrown the shadows. It's time to step into the spotlight God carved out just for you. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, that's the point. People are not inspired by perfection. They're moved by raw obedience. They don't need your flawless act. They need your courageous yes. When you obey in public, others are freed in private. Your performance is a ripple in the spirit realm, cracking chains you'll never see. Stop measuring your readiness by the approval of people who were never meant to understand your assignment. Your validation already came from heaven. The moment you take action, you activate momentum. Heaven doesn't respond to your potential, it responds to your movement. Even if your voice shakes, speak. Even if your hands tremble, perform. The power isn't in how polished you are, it's in how surrendered you are. Faith without motion is fiction. When you step out, heaven steps in. But it won't until you do. You think you're waiting on God, but God's waiting on you. The green light has been on for a while now, and the crowd is gathered. Your story doesn't start when everything is perfect. It begins when you're brave enough to be seen trying. Public obedience is not about being impressive, it's about being available. So stand up, walk forward, eyes will be on you, and that's exactly how it's meant to be. They will stare, they will whisper, but the ones who need what you carry will lean in. You weren't sent to convince everyone. You were sent to wake the ones who are asleep. When you move boldly, those who are meant to follow will recognize the signal. Their spirits will respond even if their words don't. You're not performing for applause. You're performing because you must. There's power in doing it afraid. Fear is not the enemy of purpose. Passivity is. The more you hesitate, the heavier the calling becomes. But the second you step up, the weight transforms into wings. You'll never feel ready enough. That's why it's called faith. If you wait for certainty, you'll miss your moment. Perform now, especially when it scares you. Your public act is a declaration in the spiritual realm. When you move in alignment, demons tremble, destinies shift, and heavens open. You're not just acting out a scene, you're activating divine assignments. The stage is sacred not because of the lights, but because of the obedience. When your voice echoes in public, angels respond in private. Never underestimate what happens when you say yes out loud. Every time you rise publicly, you build courage in others. Someone is watching you and thinking, if they can do it, maybe I can too. This isn't about ego, it's about legacy. Your act of boldness becomes someone else's blueprint. You are setting a precedent. You're being watched, not to be judged, but to be modeled. So stop shrinking. You are someone's permission slip to be brave. You will not be remembered for the moments you stayed silent. You will be remembered for the moments you stepped up, spoke out, and stood tall when it mattered most. Public obedience doesn't guarantee ease, it guarantees impact. If you're tired of feeling stuck, then break the pattern now. Do it where they can see it. That's where freedom lives. In the visible, in the raw, in the real. You've been wondering why it had to be you, why the weight falls on your shoulders, why the call won't leave you alone, even when you try to ignore it. But here's the truth. The spotlight of purpose isn't random. It's targeted. You are marked to be seen because what you carry isn't just a message. It's a movement. When God calls you to the front, He's not asking for comfort. He's demanding visibility, vulnerability, and victory. The stage wasn't made for pride. It was carved out for purpose. People think stepping forward is about ego, but real performers in the spirit realm are trembling on the inside. You don't perform to impress, you perform to obey. And when obedience meets exposure, chains begin to break in places you'll never visit. You were built to shine in the storm, not retreat into safety, and the world is starving for what you've been hiding. You weren't designed to hide behind talent. You were designed to bleed purpose in front of the world. There's nothing glamorous about being chosen. It means carrying weight in public while you're bleeding in private. It means smiling through spiritual warfare. But even so, you must go on, because someone's freedom depends on your performance. The platform is pressure, yes, but it's also power. Don't confuse humility with invisibility. You're not called to blend into the background just to appear modest. That false humility is robbing people of the breakthrough that comes when they see you move. Purpose isn't always loud, but it's always present. The ones who watch you need more than quiet prayers. They need to see you burn in the open. Let the fire fall where they can witness it. Your purpose was never meant to be rehearsed forever in secret. At some point, rehearsal ends and the real performance begins. And that moment, it's public, it's raw, it's real. When you step into that light, even if you tremble, you become a weapon. Not a tool of entertainment, but a vessel of awakening. The world isn't waiting for perfection. It's waiting for you. Some people will only believe it's possible when they see you do it. Your performance is more than a message. It's a prophetic act, a declaration that says, look at what obedience makes possible. You weren't made to be just a theory. You were made to be proof. Proof that purpose can survive pressure. Proof that the call doesn't shrink under weight. It grows sharper. You've been quiet long enough. You've been waiting for a confirmation that was already spoken in the dark. This is it. The time has come to show what you carry, even if it scares you. Let the fire in you become a flame around you. Let them see what a chosen one looks like in full obedience. Let them witness the raw, wild beauty of someone who finally said yes. When you move, it sends tremors through the invisible realm. Hell shakes, heaven aligns, chains snap. Not because you're perfect, but because you're moving in assignment. Every step you take in the public eye under divine instruction echoes with authority. You are not performing for man, you are performing through God. That's the difference, and that's why it must be seen. The devil hopes you stay hidden. He hopes fear keeps your voice caged and your gift buried. Because the moment you act, it's not just visible. It's viral in the spirit. Heaven has been waiting for a public eruption of obedience. One act, one word, one performance done in boldness can unlock destinies. You've been armed for impact. Don't die loaded. Empty it in public. God doesn't do secret promotions. He lifts in public what was crushed in private. You've cried in the dark, grown in silence, and sacrificed where no one saw. Now the world must witness the fruit. When you perform, it's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's divine justice. It's the arrival of glory. Let it be seen. Let them stare. Let them never forget the day you stepped into your calling. They will laugh. They will roll their eyes. They will say you've changed, and you have. You've outgrown their limitations, their expectations, and their doubts. What they mock today, they'll remember tomorrow. The same voices that ridicule your rise will one day whisper your name in reverence. They'll say they knew you before the fire, but they never knew the fire in you. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. Being chosen doesn't mean being celebrated. It often means being criticized. You'll be the topic of conversations you weren't invited to, but don't bend. Don't break. Their rejection is proof that you're shifting realms. The ridicule is not a stop sign, it's a spotlight. And what they mock now, they'll study later. The seeds you plant in obedience will bear fruit in unexpected places. You're not performing for now. You're performing for legacy. The children of those who doubt you today may walk in freedom tomorrow because of your courage. What they see as arrogance is actually your alignment with the divine. You're not trying to impress them. You're awakening them, even if it hurts. You cannot expect divine results from a crowd-pleasing life. Chosen ones don't move to applause. They move to the beat of instruction. The people may not clap now, but their silence is sacred. It means you're shaking something they can't explain. Don't look for validation from the ones who are still asleep. Keep moving. Their awakening is coming. Let them speak, let them mock, but don't let them stop you. Your obedience is not for their approval. It's for the glory of the one who sent you. When it's all said and done, they'll remember the moment you rose. They'll remember the voice, the fire, the fearlessness, the day you stopped asking for permission and started walking in power. God doesn't wait for you to be fearless. He moves when you're willing. Boldness is not the absence of fear, it's the refusal to bow to it. The moment you stand, heaven responds. Courage is magnetic in the spiritual realm. It draws protection, provision, and purpose. When you rise in boldness, you don't just shift your life, you shift the atmosphere. The first step is always the hardest. That initial movement into public purpose feels like stepping off a cliff. But the second your foot leaves the ledge, wings you never knew you had will unfold. Boldness activates provision. Miracles don't follow timidity. They follow the brave. The ones who say yes, loud enough for the world to hear. The eyes of heaven are on the bold. Every act of courage is multiplied in ways you can't see. When you speak, the earth hears. But when you obey, heaven moves. Fear will always scream louder before a breakthrough. But your silence strengthens the opposition. Boldness is not a personality trait. It's a spiritual weapon. No one remembers the silent ones who had potential. They remember the ones who dared to perform in fire. The ones who stood up even when everything inside screamed to run. Boldness rewrites the narrative. It tells the darkness, you don't win here. Every time you step up, you snatch territory from the enemy. If you want to see God move in ways you've never seen, you'll have to move in ways you've never tried. Comfort zones are graves for chosen ones. The supernatural doesn't sit in safety. It explodes in risk. Public boldness is how you unlock heaven's full arsenal. So speak, perform, act, and let the heavens back your every move. Every moment you hesitate, someone else stays bound. Your silence isn't neutral, it's costly. What you carry is not just a personal gift, it's a public key. You were given that fire to light the way for others, not to warm your own comfort. If you refuse to rise, others remain in the dark. Your no delays their freedom. Your yes unlocks their breakthrough. You've been thinking too small. This isn't just about your destiny, it's about generational impact. Every step of boldness you take now echoes into timelines you'll never see. The courage to perform today can cause a ripple that heals bloodlines, restores identities, and births movements. Don't underestimate the weight of your obedience. It's heavier than you think because it's meant to carry others. There are people who won't move until they see you move. They're waiting in secret, watching in silence, and hoping you show them it's possible. You are their confirmation. You are their green light. Every time you perform in alignment, you tell them, you're allowed to rise too. You're not just obeying, you're activating. Your silence may feel safe, but it's not harmless. Safety can become selfish when it prevents someone else's healing. You weren't chosen to be cautious. You were chosen to be catalytic. You were made to stir the waters, to shake the room, to shift the atmosphere. Playing small doesn't protect people. It leaves them starving. Feed them with your courage. Your voice was forged for the battlefield, not the basement. You've spent enough time preparing behind the curtain. Now it's time to open the stage and let your voice echo through the halls of history. The world is hungry for truth spoken in power. Your performance will nourish more than you know. So don't hold back. Let it be seen. Let it be heard. You keep telling yourself you're not built for attention, that you're more comfortable behind the scenes. But chosen ones were never meant to blend in. Your design was deliberate. Your voice, your presence, your aura, it was all handcrafted for influence. The world doesn't need your modesty. It needs your mission. Don't hide what was made to shine. You confuse purpose with performance. But this isn't a show. This is an assignment. The platform doesn't elevate your ego. It elevates your impact. You're not stepping into the spotlight to be admired. You're stepping in to awaken. The stage is sacred when you walk in obedience. It's no longer about you. It's about who's watching and what's shifting because of you. When God equips someone for the front lines, He doesn't give them camouflage. He gives them presence. You're supposed to stand out. You're supposed to be seen, not for vanity, but for victory. You are a signal in human form. Your very existence confronts systems, shakes stagnation, and stirs the sleeping. Stop trying to dim what heaven designed to blaze. You've mistaken visibility for pride. But pride hides when it's tested. Purpose stands firm. You being seen isn't about being praised. It's about being positioned. You are not a performer trying to gain attention. You are a messenger under divine instruction. Visibility is the assignment. Resistance is expected. But retreat is not an option. The moment you step into who you really are, the world around you is forced to adjust. Your presence shifts things. That's why it's uncomfortable. That's why it's resisted. But it's also why it's needed. You carry a weight that demands room, so make space. Walk boldly. You weren't made for the shadows, you were built for the stage of purpose. You're still waiting for someone to give you a green light that God already turned on. The permission you seek has already been written into your purpose. You keep looking around, hoping someone validates what heaven already stamped. Chosen ones don't wait to be asked. They announce their arrival. Stop seeking applause and start stepping in authority. No more may I, no more shrinking. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Stop explaining what's holy to people who only speak the language of comfort. Your calling isn't up for debate. It's up for execution. You're not arrogant for stepping into what's yours. You're not proud for performing what you were built to do. You've already been appointed. You're just now stepping into the visible part. This is not about proving anything. This is about fulfilling everything. Permission isn't granted by people. It's activated by decision. The world will try to tame your voice, shrink your gift, and question your fire, but they didn't place it in you, so they don't get to control it. Stop asking people to be okay with something that was never meant to be contained. You're not here to be accepted. You're here to be unleashed. Step up. No more apologies, no more almost, just go. The moment your foot hits the ground in purpose, everything shifts. Chains break, eyes open, environments transform. This is not poetry, it's war. When a chosen one moves, heaven dispatches and hell reacts. You think it's just a speech or a song or a gesture, but it's an earthquake in the spirit realm. You're not just seen, you're felt. The enemy fears the day you realize what you carry. That day is today. You've spent too long wondering if you're enough. But the fire in your belly was placed there to ignite battlefields. You're not decoration. You're a detonator. And the second you perform publicly, the hidden powers against you start to shake. Because now, you're moving with intent. You don't need a crowd to cause a collapse. One act of obedience in full view can dismantle years of generational silence. You are not just speaking. You are breaking things. Every time you stand in boldness, fear loses territory, shame loses grip, lies lose volume. You weren't made to whisper your way through purpose. You were made to shake the system. Obedience isn't gentle. It's violent to the invisible. What looks like a simple action on the outside is a full-scale assault in the spiritual realm. You're not performing for attention. You're declaring war on every lie that's ever told you to sit down. So when you rise, rise with full force. Let hell hear you coming. This isn't a performance, it's a strike. A divine move that tells every opposing force, not here, not now, not anymore. When you walk into the room under calling, you don't need weapons, you are the weapon. Don't downplay it. Don't delay it. Perform in public. Let the tremors begin. Let the chains fall. Let purpose roar through your presence. And now, chosen one. The stage is waiting. The world has seen enough silence. It's your turn to be the sign, the sound, the shift. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, in public, with fire. If something in this message lit a spark in your spirit, if you felt a call to stand, to speak, to move, then I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and write, "The chosen path." So I know you stayed until the end. So I know you heard the call. And so the world knows. You're done hiding. You're ready to be seen. What did this message awaken in you? Tell me below, and let your words be the first public step, because this path was never meant to be walked in silence.